Hi, I'm Joseph, and this is for CMPM 147, and this is for our fourth assignment, the 3D terrain generation. So what we have here is my first part of the assignment. So what it is it's generated a mesh of triangles to create a square, and that square is mapped to 50 by 50. And we have different public variable values that we can manipulate right here on the right side. Through our sliders into our script. So right here we have our grid size x, and we could decrease and increase the x by x, the size of the grid. So it can be a little sliver or nothing, and we can increase it this way too. We can also do it in the y direction as well. So if you want a bigger grid that way, you can do that. If you want to change the size of each individual square, so each side of the square on this plane is 1 by 1 by 1 by 1, but we can change that here. And as you can see here, it'll increase the size of the overall grid that way as well. Just put it back to 1 for convenience. We also have our amplitude, and it'll change the height of our bumpiness, or the noise bumpiness on the grid. We can decrease it to create a flatter plane. You can see sort of still bumps it there, or we can increase it to make these bumps, or height of these bumps, a lot more noticeable. Put it back to 5 for now, or around 5. So here we have our noise Y span, our noise X span. So we can, right now it's looking at only a certain part of the noise map. So we can look at the rest of the noise map by going into this direction, and you can see more bumps are formed. Or we could go into this direction here for less noise. We can also, and this is in the Y direction, we can also do this in the X direction as well. And we're able to do 1010. This should be the, I believe, the full noise map. I'm not for sure. But not the full noise map, but at least up to 10 by 10 on the noise map. We also have persistence and octaves. Octaves adds another layer of noise to our grid plane here. Persistence won't do anything for now, so we have to go up an octave to manipulate the persistence, as you can see here. If we go back to 1, the persistence just won't do anything. We need to actually have another layer of noise for something to show. And it adjusts the height of the grid, or the persistence, a bit. You can also keep going up to 6, I believe was required on campus, octaves. And we can manipulate this way. If we increase our amplitude, we can make a grid with a bunch of crazy spikes. So this is for part 1. And then let's go to part 2. Part 2, instead of creating our own grid mesh, what we are doing here is we are using the, it started part 1, oops. So here we have our terrain object from Unity, which we are then manipulating through sliders instead of creating our own grid. So I should be able to scroll out here. Adjust it a little bit, okay. And here it is required that we manipulate this terrain through amplitude, the noise, Y spans, persistence, and octaves. And we have our depth, our scale, our width and height of the grid as well. So we can increase the amplitude just like the part 1. Increase the hills. Makes a weird it makes a weird plateau on these hills if you go too high. For the noise Y span, X span, same thing like part 1. You can increase and decrease. This is in the X direction. And then for persistence, we can, well, yeah, it doesn't do anything because we don't have any octaves. So you can go up 1 octave and the persistence will change as well. And then like the first assignment, we keep doing this, we keep getting a bunch of spikes here on the grid. And also my Unity becomes very laggy because of this. So let's pick it to 3 really quick and just mess with it, just to show. I got amplitude, so we get all these values, or these hills plateau. I think it also has to do with this depth value. So let's say if I change the depth to 10, it wouldn't hit the ceiling or plateau on the hills as much. Have better range to mess with the bumpiness of the grid. And yeah, this is for my fourth assignment.